Defense mechanisms. Do you see the writing? Defense mechanisms. Yeah, so defense mechanisms, you've probably heard of them before. Also, we got the most confusing outfit of all time right now. Got the freaking scholar shirt, sweatpants, Wisconsin. It's cool. Anyway, so defense mechanisms are something we do unconsciously when we want to, like, deflect feelings of guilt, like negative feelings like guilt, inadequacy, sadness, etc., etc. Like, we don't want to feel a bad thing, so we do a defense mechanism, and we don't know we're doing a defense mechanism. It's unconscious. I'll find the definition for you. Okay. Defense mechanisms. Largely unconscious reactions that protect, keyword protect, one from unpleasant emotions such as anxiety, guilt, sadness, and fear. We do not realize we're doing a defense mechanism when we're doing it, okay? Now I'm going to go through the defense mechanisms. The first one we're going to do is repression. This is the first one I learned. It's one of my favorites. I was about to say I don't repress, but I don't know if I'm repressing something or not. That's a key thing about repression. Repression is like, say something really bad happened to you, right? Like, maybe you had a really difficult childhood, and it was like, oh, this is like it was really bad. It was really bad. So as an adult or an older person, like a young adult or a teenager or whatever, you don't remember a lot of your childhood, especially if it's like around a certain person who harmed you, or a certain place that you just can't remember. Like, maybe you had a really bad experience at a school that you went to, and you don't remember anything that happened at that school. You're like, oh, I didn't know I went there. Like, I guess I knew I went there. I just don't really remember much about it. Like, you probably are repressing the memories from that extremely difficult time in your life, okay? So on the quiz, on the exam, there's probably going to be a question like, give an example of a memory that you're currently repressing. The answer is, I cannot remember, like, I can't remember if I'm repressing it. If I'm repressing a memory, I cannot access it because my unconscious mind is protecting my conscious mind from it. So the difference between conscious and unconscious mind is that the conscious mind is the one that you're, like, thinking about, or, like, thinking with. Like, the things that are, like, accessible and at the forefront, like, of your brain. Like, oh, consciously I can, like consciously I'm aware of things around me. Like, I'm aware of what I'm thinking of. The unconscious brain is things we just aren't, like, we aren't conscious of. Like, we're not thinking about them. Like, oh, I don't know what's going on back there, you know? The unconscious mind is, like, what's holding all the repressed stuff. Your unconscious mind is like, okay, let's take these memories because they're so bad for us and they did such bad things to us, and let's just not recognize them, let's not use them. Repression is when your unconscious mind makes you forget certain things, okay? It makes you forget certain things, certain memories, certain experiences. That's repression. Yeah. I like to remember repression by thinking about cowboys. I don't know why. I just think, oh yeah, cowboys. Let's just think about a cowboy and he's repressing something really bad that happened to him. He's a really repressed cowboy. I don't know why that helps me remember. I think it's like Brokeback Mountain or something. Yeah. I wrote a little doodle right here. That's my repressed cowboy. Okay. But yeah, repression. The definition of repression. That's regression. The definition of repression is the process of putting thoughts, memories, and or emotions out of one's conscious mind. That means your conscious mind isn't experiencing them. Now, repression, these memories aren't gone forever. Like, you're not totally free of them. For example, somebody who was in a war, right? They were really traumatized and it was really bad for them because war is a terrible, horrible outcome of humanity that massacres our young and poisons our future. Anyway, So he or she, they, can't remember like certain parts of like the war because they were so terrible. But they have flashbacks when they hear certain sounds or when they see certain things or smell certain smells that remind them of that memory. Like say they were like under fire or something and fireworks like or like the explosion sounds that like triggers a reaction. Like it triggers the feelings that they had, but they can't, like their body's responding to something that their mind can't remember, you know? Or it can also come back in flashbacks, like they have a flashback to, like, you know, in a movie flashback, they flash back to the memory of it happening, or they have a nightmare that's really similar to, like, a memory of what happened. Like, maybe they had an experience where they were, like, I don't know, like, being chased or something, or, like, they were running from something in, like, during the war, and then they have dreams about being chased and feeling that fear. That's repression. But repression keeps these memories out of your conscious mind, but they still like well up. It's like you have a closet and you're stuffing a bunch of stuff in it, and then you lean against the closet, but eventually, no matter how much you lean and hold it, all that stuff's gonna fall out. There's gonna be a crack in the door, and you're gonna see what's inside. That's not a closet, that's my door. But, you know. So that's repression. I'm going to say the definition one more time. The process of putting one's thoughts, memories, and or emotions out of their conscious mind. Okay. Moving on to the second defense mechanism, excuse me, which sounds a lot like repression. Don't get these two mixed up. Repression, putting your memories out of your conscious mind. You don't know you're doing it. Regression is the one we're going to talk about right now, which is going backward. Going back to very immature patterns of behavior when faced with a problem, parentheses, acting like a baby, close parentheses.